But every responsible bank makes it a point of duty to ensure that it honors its deposit obligations. One. Two, the federal government deposits, okay, including both private sector and federal government deposits. I would not agree, sir, okay, that the banks are careless when it comes to federal government deposits. The truth is that once the bank is unable to meet its obligations, it affects both private sector and government deposits. However, it would now depend on the amount of deposits the customer has. Retail customers would, of course, easily be able to, and banks can easily be able to pay them 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. But when the funds are huge, it becomes more difficult for a bank in distress to deal with.
What happened to that fund between 2012 when it was deposited and the period you had to be taken to court by the Special Presidential Investigation Panel? You have about 6 years in which this fund was in your custody without ownership. Even though the question is not directly at you, your problem is just that did NNPC forget this fund in your custody? Is it possible to forget almost $300 million of public funds in an account that is not managed?
The matter concerning Nexim Bank has to do with money that the bank gave to some people, and when the panel was set up, the Nexim Bank came to the panel to inform the panel that they are having issues in recovering those funds from the people they gave the money. And immediately the panel started investigating the complaint, and funds were recovered. So, but for me, it is for the Nexim Bank to tell us the amount of money because the money goes to them. The panel's work is just to bring the suspect and ask them that the money should be paid. So it is Nexim that will tell us the amount of money, because even after the removal of the panel members, most of these people are still paying because they've already made commitments to pay. So it is only Nexim Bank that can tell us the exact amount that they have recovered from that process. Because most of them they are all case files where these people made commitments. And that money has been, the people keep paying the money to Nexim Bank. So Nexim Bank is in position to tell us the exact amount.
Where is this case file now?
Yes, I said before, Chairman, that the file is with the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation.
So the first deposit was 30 million. Like I said, there were subsequent deposits and thereafter withdrawals. I want to believe the interest was well calculated because we run an automated system. Nobody interferes manually. So I want to believe it was well calculated. But it's subject to validation.
No, if you said interest was calculated, that means there's an agreed interest rate. Do you have agreed interest rate for the USD deposit?
It's a current account. So except I confirm, it's subject to interest on current account is subject to agreement. So I will go through the record, but it's subject to agreement. But ordinarily, current accounts don't attract interest. But the customer could ask. And I also do know that at the point, having been around that, there was a time when the government said banks should make sure that they pay interest on government deposits. So even if there wasn't anything specifically agreed, it was possible that the bank had engaged NNPC and started paying interest. But I don't have that record here.
Yeah, because that's the gray area that we're trying to understand. It's public funds. We're talking of almost $300 million
Yes.
over a 3 years period. If it's your money, you will agree an interest rate. There will be some documentation saying that this was the agreement between the parties. Do you have any evidence that there's an agreement between you and NNPC for this deposit?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have any rights here. But I can look into the records and see if there was an agreement. But generally, current accounts by law do not attract interest. It's only based on agreement.
You are aware that when the Presidential Investigation Panel had to take your bank to court, it was because you failed to disclose that you had this fund in your custody.
I'm not aware of that. And as we have said in writing, there was never a time the disclosure of this, the existence of these funds was hidden from any government agency at all. And like I said, including the House Committee on TSA, there has never been a time. Since we got on board after the dissolution of the old board, we had had engagement with several government agencies, this Presidential Investigation Panel, EFCC, the SIP, Senate Committee. There has not been any time where the existence of this fund was hidden and or not disclosed in writing.
Anyway, Mr. MD, I think at the time we invited you basically because first there was complaint that you were yet to finally pay off the total indebtedness, which you said you have paid, but we don't have evidence, we don't have any confirmation from CBN. So we require that you furnish us with that confirmation as soon as you're able to get it.
If the MD of the bank, the Polaris Bank, is not aware, I'm now informing him that the bank they were arrested before they confessed to keeping this money with them. There's a case file on this issue. It was when some members of the management was brought to the panel that they confessed that truly the money is with them.
Mr. Ojoma, we would like to deal with only facts. We know that you wrote a petition that led to the invitation.
That's
and then, since it's still under investigation, we would like to actually maintain one in which you have stated something we're investigating. So we're not prosecuting that yet.
Thank you, sir.